How's it going, everyone? Welcome back. Bengals. Did they play yesterday? I think they played. If you want to call it that. Lose one to the Jets 35-31. Now, is it all bad? No. Let's try to not hit the panic button here and take this as a guy that was very upset after yesterday's loss. I was like, you know what? We're done with football for the day. We're just going to go watch Jeff Dunham go talk to some puppets for the rest of the night and go to bed, you know? Wasn't too happy about the Bengals losing the game of all games that they should have won this season to the New York Jets. By the way, that call would be on TV for the rest of the week. They'd talk about it every single day, 3 hours a day, if that was a Kansas City and Tampa Bay game or something, right? That was the worst call I've seen in a very long time. It might be the worst call that was probably worse than not calling Joey Porter on the field at the end of that Bengals-Steelers game in the playoffs. That was bad. I don't know how you don't go out and talk. We're talking about that helmet to helmet at the end of the game. 2 minutes left, by the way. I don't know how you don't go out and talk to the rest of your crew. That's one of those power moves, if you will, just swinging it around out there. Look at me. I know the proper call. Biggest call of the game. I'm just going to go out there. We're not going to talk to everybody else about it, see what they saw. I'm just going to say, here's what happened. Bang, penalty flag. I don't remember last time I even seen anything close to a penalty on something like that, let alone it wasn't a penalty because the offensive player lowered his head into the other player. Nonetheless, it's easy to get upset about that call because the Bengals probably would have went down the field, tied the football game, possibly scored a touchdown. If they didn't score a touchdown, he might have went to overtime, lost the toss, and gave up a touchdown to the Jets and lost anyway. Nonetheless, though, it's easy to look at that play and say it was a game changer. But at the end of the day, the Bengals should have not been in that situation. The Bengals should have been able to make some stops on defense. The Bengals could have caught a couple more touchdown passes that went through them. They settled for field goals. They settled for missing fourth downs inside the red zone. And then they threw the interception late in that game there on an unfortunate, turnaround flip, kind of batted down. Makes the pick there. But let's talk about how the Bengals can learn from this game. Because I think there's a lot that can be learned here. I know you don't ever want to lose to the Jets, but this is a big game the Bengals needed to lose. I said that. Yeah, the Bengals needed to lose this one. Because let's talk about their weaknesses. Actually, we've talked about their weaknesses week in and week out, and they came on full display this week against the Jets. The Jets put out a very good game plan, maybe a perfect game plan to beat the Bengals. Michael Carter led the team in receiving yards, 9 receptions, 95 yards. We talk. The Bengals struggle at slowing down opposing teams' running backs through the air. They went up and down the field that way. The Bengals have done a good job of getting a pass rush on the quarterback this season. How did the New York Jets negate that? They didn't really go hurry up, but they ran this college style of offense where they went straight to the line of scrimmage. So if the Bengals tried to substitute, snap the ball, offsides, whatever, guys ain't ready. Offside, not offsides, not enough guys on the field, possibly 12. You know what I mean. That was their game plan. Keep the 4 Bengals pass rushers on the field the entire drive. It doesn't matter who you are. It is very hard to get pressure on the quarterback when you are forced to stay on the football field the entire game, the entire drive. It wears them down. What the Bengals have done great these past couple weeks is being able to, substitute guys in, get them some rest, and, get some fresh legs out there, then get your good pass rushers back in there and get some pressure on the quarterback. What they did really good against the Ravens, which, again, surprises me this week, why the Bengals went completely off of the script that won them a football game against the Ravens last week, which is putting pressure on the quarterback with more than 4 rushers. They let this guy stand back there and pick them apart limb for limb without even trying to show an ounce of pressure. Why wasn't there extra pressure in his face? The one time we seen them bring pressure late in the game, he threw an incompletion, which, by the way, was a rare thing in this football game. 45 passes. We have 37 completions. 2 of them that were incomplete were passes as receivers dropped into Bengals players' hands for picks. You had a couple of deflections by Sam Hubbard at the line of scrimmage. This guy could have dang well went 42 of 45 in this game. No pressure on him. Defense had to make some more plays. You got to game plan better. That is something that's big because when you start going up against these teams that see that and understand, hey, these guys struggle when they can't get pressure on the quarterback, you're going to see more teams try to work that kind of system up against the Bengals defense. You don't want to lose to the Jets, but it sure is an eye-opener to say, hey, where's the weaknesses at? Where can we get better from this perspective? And I think that was just an absolute wake-up call that this Bengals defense needed. Bengals offense, on the other hand, they put up 31 points. 31 points should beat the Jets. The Jets had gone 28 games without scoring over 30 points. The Bengals are the only defense all year not to allow over 25 points going into this game. Recipe for the 31-point game by the Bengals should have won. Again, it was a little bit of a slow start for the Bengals. We've seen them do that a lot this year. It kind of bit them a little bit this time because this was a case where if the Bengals offense stomps on the Jets early, they take those turnovers, turning them into touchdowns, they score in their first drive, all of a sudden it's a 21-7 game. And then the game plan, the script for the Jets starts to get haywire. They get a little jittery, things go out the window, and all of a sudden you're setting up for a blowout. Instead, you kept the New York Jets in this football game. They could continue to run their game plan, and they could continue to successfully move the football down the field on Bengals. And all it took was that one big turnover that they got to put them in big position to win this football game. All in all, it's a big how does the team answer? You go up against the Jets, you lose to them. Now you play 4 or 5 at home. You win 4 out of the next 5, go 4-1, or do you start to crumble from within? I think this is a team that's a really good bunch. They get together, they're going to battle back from adversity. They're going to take this game as motivation to go back into the next game and play better and say, guess what? People think we're pretenders now. Let's prove them wrong. I think they bounce back well. I think they bounce back and answer. And I just think this was a game the Bengals needed to an extent to say, hey, we have to work on these areas of the football game, this aspects of our game, if we want to actually be a contender against some of these really good teams here. We'll see how they adjust. Love you guys' thoughts. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.